everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe coming to you from Los Angeles. It's Thursday, April 29, 2021. We have updates from our correspondents across North America. Several stories from our California team tonight. Ika Era reports about Sacramento region's COVID rate not improving. Brianna Andrade in Santa Clarita.
Six Flags Magic Mountain National Hiring Week at all U.S. locations.
Annabelle de Mesa in Glendale.
AMC offers private theater rentals in select locations in an effort to recover from COVID-19's impact.
Prorrogación in North Hills.
Los Angeles County launches microtransit.
Tristan Diaz in Bakersfield.
Dodger Stadium offers app-based portal to fans at home.
Don Omar Cuevas in Little Rock reports about Arkansas hitting 1 million COVID vaccinations. Carla Valdez in Union Township reports about a new bill just signed by New Jersey's governor to benefit airport and train workers. Nenita Manawis takes us to Oklahoma City 26 years after its bombing. For EBC Sports, Ken Cruz reports about the Wizards taking on the Lakers as they try to keep playoff hopes alive. And because today is Hairstylist Appreciation Day, we will celebrate and talk about welcome transformations. Our coverage begins now. President Joe Biden triumphantly declares the United States is on the move again in a rousing speech to Congress Wednesday, calling for trillions of dollars to rebuild the post-COVID U.S. middle class and give new life to forgotten workers.
America's moving forward, but we can't stop now. We're in competition with China and other countries to win the 21st century. We're at a great inflection point in history. We have to do more than just build back better. We have to build back better. We have to compete more strenuously than we have.
Lauding the success of mass vaccination against COVID-19, Biden tells Congress and the nation on primetime television that in America, we always get up. The president says, America is ready for takeoff. We are working again, dreaming again, discovering again, leading the world again. Biden, celebrating the eve of his 100th day in office, calls the vaccine rollout one of the greatest logistical achievements in U.S. history. But he quickly pivots to insisting that this national effort must now focus on rebuilding the economy and fighting inequality with the largest jobs plan since World War II. In a line that could have come from his populist Republican predecessor, Donald Trump, Biden says working-class Americans had been ignored while the top 1% got richer, and that his plans would give them a chance. Before going on to promise Americans good-paying jobs that can't be outsourced, Biden says, "You feel left behind and forgotten in an economy that's rapidly changing. Let me speak directly to you." House Speaker Nancy Pelosi hails U.S. President Joe Biden's historic address to Congress, praising him for putting a particular focus on women and families. Take a look.
Last night was historic. It was the first time two women, the Vice President of the United States and the Speaker of the House, sat behind the President as he delivered his address to the nation. It sent the message to girls and women that beyond the sky is the limit. But what's really important about the night was what the President said in his speech. It was a triumph for women at home, women in the workplace. Equal pay for equal work, paid family and medical leave, affordable child care, universal pre-K. I love that because it's children learning, parents earning. Men and women, but largely women as caregivers. This address was a recognition that we can only build back better with the fuller participation of women in our economy.
In other news, Bodycam footage from the Alameda Police Department shows officers wrestling 26-year-old Latino man Mario Gonzalez face first to the ground in a park and pinning him down with officers' knees and elbows on his back for around 5 minutes before he loses consciousness. The images you're about to see are graphic. One officer can be heard telling another to put no weight on Gonzalez's chest before emergency responders administer CPR. He later died in the hospital. A GoFundMe page set up by Mario's brother Gerardo to cover funeral costs reads, "On the morning of April 19, Alameda police killed our beloved Mario." Gerardo writes, "Watching the Bodycam footage was re-traumatizing and heartbreaking and reaffirmed our fight for justice for Mario." City of Alameda officials say 3 officers have been placed on paid leave while the incident is investigated. Gonzalez's death came the day before the conviction of Minneapolis policeman Derek Chauvin for the murder of Floyd. Floyd died after the 45-year-old officer, who was sacked before his trial, knelt on the handcuffed African-American's neck for more than 9 minutes in a case that sparked nationwide anti-racism protests. For today's COVID-19 numbers, according to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, April 29, 2021, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now over 149,929,000. Top 3 on the list of countries with recorded cases are the U.S. at over 32.2 million, India at over 18.3 million, Brazil at over 14.5 million. To date, more than 3,156,000 have succumbed to this virus. The U.S. leads the countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths, with over 574,000. Brazil is next with more than 398,000, and Mexico has more than 215,000. And now for COVID news. India's coronavirus disaster deepens Thursday, with its daily death toll climbing above 3,600 as more than 40 countries sent urgent medical aid to help the country tackle the spiraling crisis. The United States and several European nations have started to ease restrictions this week as vaccination campaigns have picked up, but the pandemic continues to worsen in many parts of the world. Among the most devastating of those waves is in India, where death and infection rates have been rising exponentially throughout April. India reports 3,645 deaths in the last 24 hours, while confirming new cases hit a new global record with more than 379,000. The official numbers are widely believed to be far lower than the reality. The pandemic has claimed at least 3.1 million lives around the world, with India accounting for more than 200,000 fatalities. In many Indian cities, hospitals are running out of beds as relatives of the sick crowd outside pharmacies and suppliers for medicines and oxygen cylinders. The spiking body count has also overwhelmed crematoriums and graveyards and caused a shortage of wood for funeral pyres. The Indian government will open vaccinations to all adults from Saturday. It had previously limited shots to the over 45s and certain other groups. Several states have warned, however, that they do not have sufficient vaccine stocks and that the expanded rollout is threatened by administrative bickering, confusion over prices, and technical glitches on the government's digital vaccine platform. Meanwhile, a U.S. military plane takes off for India from Travis Air Force Base in California with 440 oxygen cylinders and regulators, 1 million N95 masks, and 1 million COVID-19 rapid diagnostics kits donated by the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla says more than 40 countries have committed to sending India vital medical aid, particularly oxygen, amid a severe shortage. The supplies include almost 550 oxygen-generating plants, more than 4,000 oxygen concentrators, 10,000 oxygen cylinders, as well as 17 cryogenic tankers. Hundreds of thousands of doses of COVID-19 treatment drugs, as well as raw materials to produce vaccines, were also being sent. The United States is dispatching more than $100 million in supplies, with a flight due to arrive on Friday carrying oxygen concentrators, cylinders, and other oxygen-generating equipment. The WHO has said the virus variant feared to be contributing to the catastrophe on the subcontinent has now been found in more than a dozen countries. But the body has stopped short of saying it is more transmissible, more deadly, or able to dodge vaccines. Africa's disease control body also put out a warning that the continent could be overrun by infections if urgent measures are not taken to avert a similar disaster to India's. When we come back, updates from California. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
There is a need for local and national governments to help entrepreneurs and SMEs unleash their potential to make the region sustainable, especially during the COVID crisis. Today, from the regional level, we will hear some of the new and unique ways in assisting the MSMEs and producers in marketing their products and even in improving their competitiveness to suit the new normal to prepare them to the resurgence of their businesses after COVID-19. As the usual way of doing things is no longer applicable, we will find different approaches to smoothly facilitate how we do business.
As we all know, agriculture has been the only sector that has registered positive growth. We are lucky in the region because we are basically an agricultural region. We have been able to register 94% employment rate. So that's a big accomplishment.
The regional director of DTI, Ms. Leia Pulido Ocampo, will join us in this week's episode of Open for Business.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Despite vaccination efforts in California, the Sacramento region still reports a high infection rate. Eagle News correspondent Aika Era tells us what this means for the state's capital.
Due to the high number of COVID vaccinations within the last few weeks, California has made a comeback in the pandemic with one of the nation's lowest infection rates. However, our Sacramento region is currently struggling to keep the infection rates low. Hundreds of thousands of community members have already been vaccinated in the Sacramento region. However, the California Department of Public Health stated this past week that Sacramento's rate of new cases is at 8.9 per 100,000 residents. This is considered the 7th highest in the state's 58 counties. These current numbers are keeping both Sacramento and Placer County in the red tier of restrictions. The county's health officer, Dr. Olivia Kasiri, projected a month ago that Sacramento would move to the orange tier by the end of April. This is no longer the case. She does have hope that the county will be able to qualify for the orange tier in late May, which is 3 weeks before the tier system is phased out completely. Dr. Kasiri also stated that the reasons for the high number of infections could be due to students returning to school and the resumption of sporting events within the past few weeks. She had also stated that the only way to move forward in a positive direction would be to have more people get vaccinated quickly. This becomes an issue due to some community members becoming hesitant over the vaccines or not wanting to get it at all. It is difficult to determine when the COVID infections will cease and when we will be able to return to a more normal lifestyle. But despite this difficulty, we continue to look ahead and hope for a brighter outcome for the city of Sacramento. With this in mind, we ask community members to continue to follow safety guidelines such as maintaining social distancing, wearing a mask, and washing our hands for the safety of ourselves and those around us. During these times, please continue to take care of yourselves and each other. In Sacramento, California, Aika Era, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Aika. We'll be looking at May in hopes that Sacramento will indeed reach that orange tier. Meanwhile, as summer season approaches, theme parks are gearing up for a better than last year crowd. This means openings for team member positions. In Santa Clarita, Brianna Andrade with more.
Thank you, Alan. Six Flags Magic Mountain conducts National Hiring Week at all of their U.S. theme parks until May 2, as it looks to add more team members, including the one located here in the Santa Clarita Valley. With 27 locations throughout the United States, Mexico, and Canada, Six Flags Entertainment Corporation is considered the world's largest regional theme park with its Magic Mountain sites and the largest operator of water parks in North America with its Hurricane Harbor venues. Laura Dorr, the Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer, states, "With spring in full swing and summer just around the corner, the thrill is calling to come and be a part of the Six Flags family. We offer tremendous flexibility for students and part-time wage earners, as well as retirees. We have a job for every lifestyle, including many full-time career placements, and Six Flags is committed to creating a diverse and inclusive workplace with great opportunities for leadership development in the hospitality industry and beyond. We want to be the employer of choice. The various positions currently open are in ride operations, food service, retail and warehousing, lifeguards, security, and any janitorial or maintenance jobs. Those looking to apply should go online at www.sixflags.com/jobs to fill out the job application virtually. Whether you are looking for a fun part-time job with flexibility in work schedules or are seeking an entry full-time position, you want to consider applying at Six Flags Magic Mountain during their National Hiring Week. In Santa Clarita, California, Brianna Andrade, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Brianna, what about some added perks and benefits for working at Six Flags Magic Mountain? Are there any?
Well, Alan, Six Flags, like I said, is offering flexibility in work schedules, so you can work very few hours to as many as you want. They also provide the needed training for the job, so there is no experience necessary. Their hourly pay rates are also competitive, up to $15 an hour. But the best part, and I think this is really great, is for the very first time, and this is for a limited time only, if you are hired with them, you will receive 4 Gold Plus memberships to use for yourself and up to 3 family members. This Gold Plus membership will give unlimited visits and access to Magic Mountain and the Hurricane Harbor Water Park, season parking, and savings on food, beverages, and any retail items sold in the parks. This might be the added perk that will just attract so many to come and apply to work there, especially as summer is just around the corner. Alan?
Brianna, not that anyone's interested, but the Six Flags up there in Valencia or in Santa Clarita, that was actually my very first summer job as a teenager. I used to work there. Time really flies. And speaking of flying, some people might have to ride a roller coaster to get that windswept hair. But in talking about National Hairstylist Appreciation Day, I want to ask you a question. For your hairstyle, have you ever had short hair? And if so, which do you prefer? Short hair, medium length, long length hair? Talk about it.
As a young child, I always liked to grow out my hair all the way down to the bottom of my back. But there was this one time around in middle school where I cut my hair very close to my chin, and I looked very much like Dora. But I do prefer a longer hairstyle just to avoid the whole Dora confusion on my end.
Well, everyone knows that Dora grew up, so maybe you're the grown-up Dora. All right, Rihanna. Well, thank you for the report. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you, Alan.
In an effort to bounce back from the impact COVID-19 has had on the movie theater industry, AMC now offers private theater rentals in select locations. In Glendale, Eagle News correspondent Annabelle de Mesa has the story.
Thank you, Alan. With Los Angeles County moving closer to the yellow tier, based on current COVID-19 statistics in the state's roadmap to recovery, many movie buffs are eager to finally be making their way back to watching new releases on the big screen. With the movie industry hit hard in 2020 and physical distancing restrictions still in place, AMC Theaters is now offering private theater rentals throughout select theaters, and moviegoers who are interested in this opportunity can reserve a private party for up to 20 guests for just $99 plus tax. Those who are interested can select from any of AMC's available fan favorites for $99 plus tax or new releases starting at $149 plus tax. Unfortunately, AMC theaters are currently not allowing same-day private theater rentals. Availability of movie titles and new releases will also vary by theater, including including the rental prices. In compliance with the AMC's Safe and Clean initiative, these private movie showings can accommodate between 1 to 20 guests, the host included, so the auditorium will be at the 40% regulated seating capacity or less, depending on municipality guidelines to maintain social distancing. All members of the group must be present prior to group ticket scanning. The group will be allowed to enter the theater as early as 15 minutes before showtime. The manager needs to be notified if any members of the group will be arriving late. Although same-day booking is not available, film fans can reserve online today at amctheaters.com. In Glendale, California, Annabelle Damesa, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Can't wait to go back to the movies, Annabelle. But let's talk about face coverings or masks. Will they be required to be worn in the theaters and even for those who are fully vaccinated?
Yes, definitely, Alan. Face coverings and masks must still be worn at all times in the theaters. The only time you can take them off is when you're eating or drinking popcorn, soda, whichever you prefer. And this applies to everyone, whether you're vaccinated or not, just to make sure that everybody in the theater is safe. Alan?
Annabelle, you are quite obviously sporting a very bold hairstyle. Very, very appropriate that we're talking about National Hairstylist Appreciation Day. For your hairstyle, is that something of your own making, or do you seek a professional help at a hairstylist?
A little bit of both. I go to the stylist if I feel like my roots have grown out too long and I'm too scared to bleach it myself. But for the most part, I do the bleaching and the coloring myself.
Well, like I said, very bold. Do you think I could sport that look?
Oh, definitely. I feel like you have the warm skin tones for it. I can rock this.
Excellent, excellent. That's next on my to-do list. Annabelle, thank you so much for that report.
Thank you, Alan.
Up next, more updates from California and Arkansas. Eagle News America will return shortly.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Look to NHK World Japan for news of the coronavirus outbreak across the globe. You'll find updates and insights in the specialized section of our website. Catch up with programs on your schedule through the free video on-demand service. Learn how to stay in shape and maintain your health deliciously. Ready when you are. NHK World Japan.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Still in California, Los Angeles offers a new rideshare service alternative as the city pushes for affordable and accessible ways to move around the region. Eagle News correspondent Pro Rogacion has the details.
Thank you, Alan. Los Angeles residents looking for an on-demand rideshare service are encouraged to try out the Metro Micro, the microtransit pilot project of Los Angeles County. This transit service covers 5 regions throughout Los Angeles with varying hours of operation. First one is Watts Willowbrook zone from Monday to Sunday from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. LAX Inglewood zone from Monday to Friday from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. North Hollywood Burbank zone from Monday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Compton Artesia zone from Monday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and El Monte zone from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday to Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Metro Micro was developed for short direct trips or connecting Angelinos to buses or trains for those planning on longer trips. It utilizes small vehicles that can accommodate up to 10 passengers, including those with disabilities, and can also transport their wheelchairs and bicycles. It is set to remain in service for 3 years as one of the projects resulting from the three-phase next-gen bus plan of the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Approved last year in October, the next-gen bus plan aims to provide quick, dependable, and efficient transit services to the public as Los Angeles looks towards the future of transportation. Los Angeles Mayor and Metro Board Chair Eric Garcetti had stated on this project, "It's our job to provide Angelinos with affordable and accessible ways to move around our city and region. Metro Micro will bring the convenience of ride-share technology at a fraction of cost, which will mean less congestion on our streets, cleaner air, and another way to get the most out of our transit systems." During this current 6 months period since the launch of Metro Micro, the fare per ride is at a promotional rate of only $1. The average waiting time is around 10 minutes. In North Hills, California, Pearl Rogacion, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Now, Pearl tried our best to commit to memory the instructions on the video during the report, but in case any of our viewers missed them on screen, can you detail the instructions on how to access Metro Micro to transport us Angelinos to where we need to go?
Yes, Alan. First, Los Angeles residents will need to download the Metro Micro app onto their mobile phones, which is available on Google Play or App Store, in order to book and schedule a ride. But if they don't have the app on their mobile phones, they can also go online at book.metro-micro.net or book by phone. They can dial 323-GO-METRO, which is the 323-466-3876, to be helped by a live agent. From here, one will need to make an account, select their zone on the map, specify the pickup and then the drop-off locations, and then they have to choose the time and give the number of riders. After booking, Angelina should then go to the pickup locations at least 5 minutes early. One can then pay by credit card through the app, if they have the app, or with your Transit Access Tap or the Tap card when you board. Cash will not be accepted. Alan?
And you really can't beat that $1 promotional rate. Now, Pearl, we're going to be talking about Hairstylist Appreciation Day. And so what we want to do at this time is to take a trip down memory lane to your wedding day. What we need you to do, Pearl, is can you describe to us your hairstyle on your wedding day? And would you sport that hairstyle today?
Okay, I have to remember. It was simple. My hair was just like all up, and that was just a neat hairdo, I would say. So it was just a simple one with a little what do you call it? Diamond pins that was put on my hair.
So we could say a timeless hairstyle?
I would say a classic one, yes.
Very, very well. Well, we can't wait to talk to you a little bit more about National Hairstylist Appreciation Day. But thank you now for the report, Pearl.
Thank you, Alan.
Are you a baseball fan but can't go to the actual games just yet? This new app may be the best fit for you. Eagle News correspondent Tristan Diaz tells us about Dodgers' new game access alternative.
Thank you, Alan. With baseball season back in full effect, Dodger Stadium recently reopened their doors to their Dodger fans and baseball lovers. For those who can't quite make their way to in-person games just yet, exclusive Dodgers content is now available to all fans in the convenience of their own homes. Dodgers at Home is described as a subscription program that provides access to an app-based portal of exclusive Dodgers content curated specially for Dodgers at Home subscribers. After signing up and subscribing for this, Angelinos will be given the instructions to access the Dodgers at Home content portal, updated weekly with new exclusive videos, photos, and player content throughout the season. Every quarter, one will also receive a curated bonus gift box delivered to their home as part of the subscription. These gift boxes will contain the Dodgers-themed apparel and accessories, including other surprises. By becoming a Dodgers at Home subscriber, fans will be eligible to receive early access opportunities for special events and sales. Fans will have 2 different tier subscription options to choose from: annual subscription at $300 per year or quarterly subscription at $85 per quarter. Dodger fans interested in this subscription can sign up today at www.mlb.com/Dodgers/fans/at-home subscription. In Bakersfield, California, Tristan Diaz, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
Tristan, does the access differ based on the subscription package that you get?
Actually, annual and quarterly subscribers both receive access to the same package of quarterly digital content and gift boxes. Fans may upgrade from a quarterly subscription to an annual subscription and vice versa at the end of their currently active subscription term. From what I see, Alan, the only difference is the price. If you're an avid Dodgers fan and plan to keep this subscription for a long-term period, then the annual subscription is best, as it will save you $40 every year compared to paying the $85 subscription for every quarter. Back to you, Alan.
Interesting. You know what we can see? We can see that your hairstyle is as strong as your reporting game. So take us through your routine. We can't believe that that's just a little bit of water combed to the right. How much product do you put to get that look?
To be honest with you, Alan, I put quite a few products in my hair. I won't reveal it right now, maybe later on, but there's a few recipes that will make up this beauty you see up here.
Tristan, before we let you go, who spends more time in front of the mirror, you or your wife?
No comment.
There you go. Good man. Thank you, Tristan, for that report. With COVID vaccines available in every Arkansas county, the state has now reached 1 million jabs. In Little Rock, Don Omar tells us more.
Thanks for having me. Hello from Little Rock, Arkansas. Here in Arkansas, COVID-19 cases have now reached 335,000, with about 250,000 recoveries and over 5,700 deaths. In regards to the COVID-19 vaccine, Arkansans aged 16 and above are still eligible. Some schools in the state are now distributing vaccines, so it is even more accessible for younger Arkansans. Speaking of vaccines, on the 22nd of April, Governor Asa Hutchinson made a post on Twitter about the celebration of the millionth Arkansan to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. 1 million is already a big number, but for comparison, the state of Arkansas has a population of about 3 million. This means that 1/3 of the population of Arkansas has now received the vaccine. And even though 1 million isn't a lot compared to other larger states, progress is progress. Just keep it up, Arkansas. Governor Hutchinson also tweeted about Arkansas's progress in fighting COVID-19 recently, remarking that doses of all 3 brands of the vaccine, being Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna, are now available in every county. He also stated that compared to last week, Arkansas is getting even fewer cases of COVID, which of course is always a good thing. In other pandemic-related news and governor-related news, the governor made a statement on the 16th of April about Arkansas's unemployment rate. The national unemployment rate as of March 2021 is about 6%, but The unemployment rate in Arkansas is currently at only 4.4%. In response to these encouraging numbers, Governor Hutchinson stated, "The decline in the unemployment rate is another encouraging sign that we are emerging from the pandemic, and Arkansans have increasing opportunities to return to good-paying jobs. We do need to increase the numbers in the workforce, and the pandemic has reduced the number of Arkansans available to work. Hopefully this is short-term, because hundreds of employers need workers each day." As always, I hope you're staying safe wherever you are. Do what you can to protect others from the spread of the virus, and get vaccinated. In Little Rock, Arkansas, Don Omar Cuevas, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
1 million vaccinated Arkansans and counting. Thank you, Don Omar. Up next, updates from New Jersey, EBC Sports, and tonight's roundtable about welcome transformations for Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas, a 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Agila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Agila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explaining our health outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Welcome back. This is Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basayahe in Los Angeles. In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy signs the Healthy Terminals Act in an effort to create new benefits for airport and train workers in the state. Bureau Chief Carlo Valdez with the details.
Thanks, Alan. On Thursday, Governor Murphy signed the Healthy Terminals Act. This bill creates a new minimum wage and benefits requirements for certain Newark Liberty International Airport and Newark Liberty International train station workers. This bill will also expand access to livable wages and affordable health care for workers at the airport and train station who often cannot afford employer-provided health care plans. Here's Governor Murphy with some words. Let's take a look.
With my signature in a few moments, more than 10,000 workers here at Newark Liberty will receive a little more that will allow them to do a great deal more for themselves and their families. And when you are going to work every day to do your jobs in a global transportation hub in the midst of a global pandemic, quality and affordable health care becomes much more than just a benefit. It becomes a basic right. You have done your jobs throughout a year of tremendous uncertainty and unprecedented anxiety. I know many of you have held your breaths, not knowing whether you would contract COVID here or worse yet, bring it home to your families. So today, We give you a little piece of certainty and peace of mind, and today we allow you to exhale. All we are saying with this law is that every worker deserves the ability to afford a health care plan that works for them and their families.
And as for coronavirus stats and numbers, New Jersey reports of 2,092 new positive PCR tests, pushing the total to 871,333. Sadly, New Jersey is reporting 20 new confirmed deaths, pushing the total to 22,904 lives lost. In Union Township, New Jersey, Carlo Valdez, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alan.
We want to clarify to our viewers that healthy terminal is not an oxymoron. We are not using the terminal adjective, we're using terminal, the noun. But thank you so much, Carlo, for your report. All right, as April marks the 26th anniversary of the bombing of Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, Ninita Manawis takes us on a tour of the memorial landmark in Oklahoma City, while also highlighting the area attractions that makes this city so unique.
26 years ago, on April 19, 1995 at 9:02 in the morning, the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City happened. Considered to be the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history, the bombing has killed 168 people, including children. Today, join us on a day trip to Oklahoma City in Oklahoma to visit the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, as well as other attractions and landmarks in the city. It takes almost 3 hours of non-stop drive from Frisco, Texas to Oklahoma City. Our first stop is the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. The outdoor symbolic memorial includes some of the symbolic elements of that fateful day of April 19, 1995. The gates of time frame the moment. The 901 gate represents the innocence before the attack. The 9:02 a.m. gate signifies the moment of destruction and marks the entrance to the memorial. The 9:03 gate represents the first moment of the aftermath and when the healing began. Comprising of 168 chairs, the field of empty chairs embodies the 168 lives taken on that day, 19 of which were children and represented by smaller chairs. The chairs stand in 9 rows to represent each floor of the federal building that once stood there. The reflection pool has calming sounds that provide a peaceful setting for quiet thoughts for everyone who visits the memorial. The survivor tree is a living symbol of resilience, having withstood the force of the bombings. Referred to as the survivor wall, these are the only remaining walls from the federal building. The children's area includes a wall of tiles hand-painted by children from around the country and the world. There are also chalkboards for children and everyone, so they can continue to share their feelings. Another attraction in OKC is the Paseo Arts District, which is a lively neighborhood that features a Spanish villa motif, lined up with the original stucco buildings and with their clay roof tiles. The Paseo Arts District is known for its galleries, art schools, boutiques, restaurants, and its all year-round nightlife. According to their website, the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City is America's premier institution of Western history, art, and culture. Standing in the entry of the museum is the James Earl Fraser's end of trail statue of a Native American and his horse. According to the Met in New York City, Fraser said in his memoir that the idea occurred to him of making an Indian which represented his race reaching the end of the trail at the edge of the Pacific. The museum was founded in 1955 and continues to collect, preserve, and exhibit an internationally renowned collection of Western arts and artifacts. The museum also has a cafe and a store where souvenir items are available for visitors to take home with them a part of their museum experience. OKC's historic Stockyard City is not a typical touristy attraction. The district provides a glimpse of early 20th century architecture, has Western-themed shops and great steaks. Moreover, it is a place where individuals who are into cattle and horses can meet, get what they need, and have a good meal together. The Stockyard City is also the home of the Oklahoma National Stockyards, the world's largest feeder and stocker cattle market, and the place to be if you want to see live cattle auctions, which take place every Monday and Tuesday. In Oklahoma City, this is Nanita Manawes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
The high-energy Washington Wizards welcomed the defending champions Los Angeles Lakers Wednesday night. Ken Cruz was there in the Capitol Arena at the nation's capital. Here's the report.
11 games are left in the NBA regular season. For the Washington Wizards, finishing the season strong is essential, as they're currently holding on to the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference, which means they'd be the final team in the playoff play-in tournament. Los Angeles Lakers, on the other hand, are holding on to the 5th spot in the Western Conference and want to avoid dropping in the 7th spot, which would force them to play in the play-in tournament also. With LeBron nearing his return from injury, the Lakers want this win, but the Wizards need this W to keep their playoff hopes alive. One thing's for sure, both teams will bring their A-game.
The Wizards did bring their A-game, sustaining a high level of intensity throughout the matchup. We asked Lakers coach Frank Vogel, as the season winds down and teams are upping their play for a chance to get into the playoffs, how do the Lakers intend to match the energy of the other teams?
Every game, and that's the mindset going down the stretch. Compete to win every time we touch the floor. Continue to work on building the chemistry that's going to be necessary for us to win in the playoffs. And, that won't be any different than the final 10 games.
We also asked Andre Drummond, since LA is the defending champs, how is it to have other teams bring their best against the Lakers in every game?
It's been crazy because I've been on the other side before, so I know what it's like to play against teams like this and, other great teams in the NBA. So I know, what type of mindset comes into these kind of games. So it's pretty fun for me to be on the other side now and experience that and try to find ways to beat these teams when they give us our best. Give us their best.
The Wizards came into this game with a purpose and executed down the stretch to hold off the Lakers to a final score of 116 to 107. Bradley Beal led the Wiz with 27 points, and Russell Westbrook had himself another casual triple-double, pulling in 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 14 assists. Anthony Davis is getting his game legs back, continuing to wrap up his court time with 26 points in 31 minutes. The Wizards played with a sense of urgency the entire game, while the Lakers struggled to match their intensity. The Lakers have the Kings at home on Friday, while the Wizards travel to Cleveland to face the Cavs also this Friday. For Eagle News, Ken Cruz. We live in interesting times.
I'll talk about a strong hair game. That Ken Cruz has it. But what we want to know is, can anyone outdo that do? Why don't we bring back our Eagle News correspondents? Because we're talking about Hairstylist Appreciation Day. I'm very glad to bring back some of our correspondents and to get them ready for what it is they're going to discuss. I actually have a list here in front of me, and it reads as your memory of your first haircut, your worst cut, your preferred style or remarkable hair transformation, best salon or barber experience, and your shout out to any favorite hairstylist. So you can speak to any of those that you'd like to. So why don't we go ahead and bring our correspondents. I want to talk first to Annabelle. Annabelle, you captured my imagination. Talk to us about this Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Well, I can talk about my worst haircut, and it's actually the haircut I gave myself. So I gave myself a haircut during quarantine because all the salons were closed, and I made the effort to try to layer my hair. It didn't work at all. Just several chunks of hair kind of layered down like stairs. It was pretty awful. So fortunately, once everything settled down, a hairdresser that my grandmother worked with decided to step in and help me out as well. The damage was too much, so she had to give me a pixie cut, but fortunately I had a pretty round face, so I was able to make it work.
Pixie cuts are so cute. So you said you gave yourself a haircut. Can I just see a show of hands from our correspondents? Who here has ever given yourself or worked on your own hair? Oh, you're the only one, Annabelle. You're the only one, with the exception of this fella right here. I have. Have you heard of hair in a can? Yeah, it's a spray. It's a spray. And so, you know, one time, just zip, a number 0 to the side, hair in a can. It took me quite a while to grow back that hair. We're gonna forget about that one. I'm gonna talk about the rest on my list a little bit later on for myself. I want to move over to Pearl. Pearl, you heard the list. You can talk about any of them that you like for this Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Okay. Growing up, I have a thin hair. So, and plus, it was my mom has always wanted me to, she always wanted for me to have a long hair. But since it's thin, it doesn't look good when it's really thin, and I'm still I was like, I think 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. So it was she had a blast when I had my first haircut, but my haircut was like straight with the bangs and straight, like, yeah, just my on my chin, and I would like Brianna said earlier, I would be the Dora during my time. So that was it. Like it's just a simple one because it's really thin, and that's all I remember. And after that, my mom would really want to do more of my hair, but she just couldn't because it's really thin, short, and she can't do anything about it. So that was my memory of having my first haircut.
Pearl, we find it so fascinating that your mom used you as her own personal doll. You were her project. All joking aside, though, was that time for you and your mom to bond?
It's yes. That's one thing that I miss. It's because like this now, since they're in Sweden and we're here, we can travel and everything. I would really want a little mom and daughter time, but yeah, it's not happening. I suggested one time, why don't we FaceTime and see how we cut our hair? But yeah, I think that's a bad idea.
Well, you answered my question. I was about to ask, would you let your mom work on your hair again? But you answered it right there. Thanks, Pearl. I'm going to move on to Brianna. Brianna, let's talk about it. Hairstylist Appreciation Day. What do you have for us?
Okay, unlike Pearl, my favorite hairstylist is my mother. She does very well in my hair, and in fact, I go to her most of the time because I rarely trust hair salons. I'm just really scared that it's not going to turn out right, especially if I do it myself. I can't do my own hair. But especially with my mom, I know what to tell her, and I can be a little more direct, especially since, like, with a hairstylist, I'm like shy all the time. But with my mom, it's really easy, and she knows how to do hair well, so it's great. I even trusted her to do my bangs, which I have right now. It's in a headband. So, yes. Trust mom all the time.
Okay, so you took the item. Shout out to favorite hairstylist. In this case, it's your own mom. That's fantastic. Question, since she's your personal favorite hairstylist, do you tip her well?
I am very good at baking. So in that sense, I do tip her well. I consider I tip her well.
All right, that's a fair exchange. That's a great story, Brianna. Now I want to move on to the fellow with the do that could outdo Ken Cruz's do, but we'll find out. Tristan, talk to us. Hairstylist Appreciation Day. What do you have for us?
So the one that comes to mind is the COVID times, which we're in right now. But you know, when COVID hit, it was hard to get a barber or an appointment. So I had a very special person in my life cut my hair, my wife. And that was that. I love my wife so much, and I tip her very well with comments and love and food and everything else. And that was very interesting.
All right, so Tristan, I guess we take it that the after effect of the haircut didn't stop her from being your favorite person.
No, but I waited a month or two just to, you know, let it grow out and make her feel good. I didn't rush to a barber or ask one of my friends who is a barber, but I went to they actually started cutting hair again. One of my favorite places here, All American Barber. Shout out to Troll. I don't know your real name, but they call him Troll there, and he you know, did my hair again, and it is what it is now. It looks like kind of like Ken Cruz, but less better.
All right. So at one time, Tristan Diaz had that safer at home hairstyle due to the pandemic. Thank you for that, Tristan. Now, for myself, I'm just going to go down the list, okay? And I'm just going to not explain too much. I'm just going to kind of rapid fire my answers. I'll read the question and read you my real quick answer. Okay, for myself, memory of first haircut, mom. She used to use an old torture device. It was some kind of hair shredder. You can't even find it. It was just medieval. Memory of first haircut, mom. Number 2, worst cut. You're looking at it. Number 3, preferred style, remarkable hair transformation. I will tell you that my wife's preferred style is whenever they get rid of what she calls my Elvis Presley sideburns. She doesn't like it. Number 4, best salon barber experience. When I would go to this one barber, I would always wash my hair first before I go to a barber. One time, the barber noticed I didn't dry behind my ear. She asked, had I been playing sports? I said, no, I washed my hair. She was so happy that my hair was clean. That was my first experience getting shampoo. Oh, it was wonderful. Number 5, shout out to favorite hairstylist. For me, my shout out goes to Justine Mangona in Valencia, California. She received her training from the Vidal Sassoon Academy, graduating top of her class. Justine has years of experience and an ever-growing clientele. So whenever you're in Valencia, look her up and book her, book her, book her. You know who else deserves to be treated to a hairstylist so that they can look their best? You know it. We're talking about our healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers. We can't treat them to the hairstylist, but we can certainly give them a round of applause. Thank you for being our modern-day heroes. We appreciate you. That is today's Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alan Basoyahe. We live in interesting times.
Start up your weekday mornings with edutainment, news, and information kasama ang inyong paboritong Net25 shows. Samahan ang inyong paboritong morning barkada sa Pambansang Almusal at 5 a.m. Tatalakayin mga pangunahing balita sa pagtutulungan ng Radyo Agila at Net25. Samahan si Weng de la Fuente sa Balitalakayan, 7 a.m. Saganang Mamamayan at 8 a.m. NHK World at 9 a.m. Eagle News International at 10 a.m. At mga balitang dapat niyong malaman mula sa Agila, Pilipinas at 11 a.m. This is your morning startup every weekday mornings only here on Net25.